sound check. It looks like the mic's working fine. So we also have everything set up here. We'll go ahead and bring this live. Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we are back in Magic again. There is a small announcement that the game is providing us with this most recent update. It's to show us that Dominaria United is going to be coming out in the near future. So it's going to remind you which sets are going to be in the format. As you can see, Dominaria is being shown here as coming in. So once we click on it, it shows you these are going to be the sets that are going to be part of the next rotation of Standard. Now, it does indicate that there's these 3 other sets here that don't have icons yet, because those are the ones that are going to round out the set by the end of the year. Well, I mean, for the end of the season. So, with that, we are going to be losing these 4 sets. It's kind of nice to be able to see the sets rotate as we'll get some more fresh deck ideas being brought to the forefront. But at the same time, we are going to miss some of these cards. So these sets will still be playable in the historic modes. So they're not gone forever, and you can also still use these in like Historic Brawl. So we can at least have fun with the cards. It's not like they're gone forever. They're just simply out of Standard. Alright. Well, with that being said, we have 3 new deck ideas. Actually, 2 of them are actually white, blue, green. One of them is just a blue-green ramp deck. So, due to the sets rotating out, I wanted to enjoy some of the cards before they left. So, one of the ideas here is just simple blue-green ramp with Coma and the Cyclone Summoner, just to, get one last hurrah with them before they leave the format. The other deck that we have set up, I call Fractal Ascendancy. Now, this was a deck idea that it's kind of like our Broker's Ascendancy deck, where we capitalize on Broker's Ascendancy, where it combos with the Wandering Emperor, Falco Spara. But we're taking advantage of a card called Biomathematician. When this enters the battlefield, we'll get to create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token that we put a +1/+1 counter on for each fractal we control. Now, we don't actually have too many cards that generate fractals, but we do have the Emergent Sequence, which allows us to go fetch a land from our deck and turn that land into a fractal with a +1/+1 counter for each land that entered the battlefield when the land transforms into a creature. So, if we just play this without playing any lands for a turn, it means that the land itself will just be a 1/1. If we actually manage to play a regular land, it'll be a 2/2. If we play the fetch land, then play the Emergent Sequence, we could have up to a 3/3 with this. So, it's going to be an interesting idea. I like the idea of trying this. And the Biomathematician's mainly in the deck because it is a 3-drop that gives us 2 bodies, which means the Broker's Ascendancy allows us to get more value out of the body being played. To round out the deck idea, we have a couple of Cathars as spot removal. We have Innkeepers to give us life gain, mana fixing, Join the Dance to give us some quick generation of tokens, Wedding Announcements to token generate, serve as +1/+1 to the board, and card draw. And we also have Ameri's Call to potentially protect and also be flying threats. So we'll jump in the games and see how it works. By the way, Hinch Toes, how you doing? Nice to see you there. Hope things are going well. By the way, if you were wondering, I was a little late getting on today because when I started to update Magic based off this most recent patch, my computer crashed in the middle of it and ended up corrupting a file, and I had to uninstall, reinstall the whole game, so it took me a little while to get back. So sorry about the later start here. Hope everyone's doing well, though. Alright. On the open, I think we can do better than this. So I'm going to hit Mulligan. I do actually think this is a better hand, because we can play this, get ourselves a green source, play Innkeeper, and be able to go to Ascendancy. So we'll keep this one. Oh, the spoiler's out. We'll have to take a look at those then. Now here's the problem. Since we had the mole, it's going to be hard to figure out which card we want to give up here. Felidar Retreat is an amazing card. But I think we'll go ahead and... No, we'll give up the Brutal Cathar. We'll try it like that. Alright, being against Mono Black means that it feels like it was a good idea. We held on to the retreat, since the opponent's more likely a slower deck. Alright. Well, we'll go land Innkeeper. If I could draw a blue source, I think I'll be greedy enough just to go for the Felidar Retreat. But we don't get that. We do get a wedding announcement. Hello, did you like the Domineer United Sports? I haven't actually had a chance to take a look at them yet, Izzy. We'll take a look at those soon then. Maybe right after this match. Yeah, Hench was pointing them out also. I had not taken a look at them. So it'll be something interesting to take a look at. Alright, we'll go land. We'll actually go for the announcement. Pass it back to the opponent. Do you know what the new sets are going to be? Sorry, one second. The audio here sounds a little loud. I'm just going to turn it down just a little bit. Alright. As for the answer to your question, no, I don't know exactly what the new sets outside this first one are going to be. What? Oh, geez. Did not... Sorry to hear that that's happening. I'll have to double check the settings, see if I can maybe get that fixed for everyone. But, back to the game, though. Play the retreat. Go for the 2/2 tokens. Oh, Hench, thank you very much for the gifted sub there. Well, thanks to the gifted sub, you won't have to worry about the ads anymore. Because Twitch kind of has those set up to just autoplay now. The answer to your question, I haven't had a chance to check out all the new spoilers, and I don't know what's exactly going to be coming out in the new sets. So I'm going to be interested to see what's going to be done. Let's see. Let's go for Broker's Ascendancy. Go for the Emergent Sequence, and we'll grab a green source. Alright. We have definitely quite the threatening board. The problem is it's the opponent's just done board wipe, board wipe. Well, let's go ahead and attack. I could have gone for the Emergent Sequence and chose to get the landfall. maybe put up another +1/+1 counter on everything, but I felt it was better for us to play around them just sweeping the board again and not putting anything new to the board. This way we can flash in Wandering Emperor during their end step and get the 2/2 body, which will now be a 3/3 thanks to the festivities. I want to know what will be what we'll get next year. I don't think they've announced all this new set names yet. The Dominaria United, I think, is the most recent set that they've announced. And after that, they don't have any of the other ones announced quite yet. Sorry to hear that you're having that kind of an issue there, Izzy. I've never seen that be an issue before.
Come on, run! But we will catch you.
Alright, opponent plays out a Valky. They'll just see that we have Wandering Emperor in hand and Emergent Sequence, but they won't be able to take anything from us. We flash this in, we go for the minus, and that kills the opponent. Because creating the 2/2 body will push lethal for us, easily. I'm a little surprised that the opponent got greedy and used the 0 on this to draw a card instead of create the 2 blockers. Let's see. Suggesting to reset the stream. Is he claiming they've done that? Yeah, because I know that once when you're subbed, even if it is a gifted sub, you should be exempt from the ads. And I don't know why you're saying that you had more ads that you went through. But again, Hench, thank you very much for the gifted sub. I do really appreciate that. Wow, they're claiming they said they're going to go that long with it. Let's see. Alright, let's take a look and see what kind of cards that we have. Because everyone's excited about the spoilers. Let's see what we have here. Something wrong with Twitch. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. They did announce Brothers War. I do remember that now. But I don't remember what they've announced after that. You're saying they apparently have 2 new Phyrexia sets. I mean, the thing once it comes to Magic, the Brothers War was one of the big, like, things that they've always had in the lore for Magic the Gathering. So it's not too much a surprise that they're going back to this type of story again. Because it just brings in a whole bunch of the old fans loving the story. And it'll be interesting to see what they do. Back to Eldraine and then Ixalan. Okay. Well, I mean, Eldraine was a fun set with how they did some of the lore there. It was kind of a interesting to see how they brought back all those old myths and turned them into cards. Hopefully they don't do another issue once when they go back there and make like another insane like Oko card and like because that set had the most number of rares or just cards in general that had to get banned from it. All right, let's see. So I'm just gonna check something real quick. All right, so these were the cards that you were saying that are in the spoiled cards right now. Ah, that's interesting to know. So yeah, I do see a number of really interesting cards to take a look at. Let's see, we have ourselves just a bunch of cards. Let's see, well, I've already taken a look at some of these because they were spoiled earlier. But they're just a lot of... Bringing Squee back. Oh boy, I'm sorry, I have to read Squee. Squee's like this recurring card that was always silly. Let's see. We don't have the text put off to the side there like they usually do, so I have to manually zoom in here. Okay, so let's see. Squee is a 2/2 with haste. When Dubious Monarch attacks, you get to create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. You may cast Squee from graveyard by paying 4 and exiling 4 other cards from your graveyard rather than paying its mana cost. You know, that's a really solid Squee. I mean, this is kind of like a Rabble Master in a way. It doesn't get bigger, but it does create tapped attacking creatures every turn. Now, it is only when it attacks, but you can keep replaying it back from your graveyard, which fits into the Squeeze Undying attribute from previous stuff. So that's really cool. That's going to be something to look forward to playing. Let's see. I mean, there's definitely a lot of interesting cards being spoiled here. Wait. They're just straight up reprinting Liliana of the Veil. This is going to be everyone's, like, go-to for, like, why they want to buy this box. This thing's insane. So, yeah. This is actually a straight up reprint. Right there already, this is just going to make a lot of people happy and make a lot of people mad, because the people who have the original Liliana are going to be mad that this is getting a reprint because it's going to hurt the price of their current cards. But for those that already, those who are looking to get lilies, this will make it so we can get one at a more affordable rate, possibly. Lord of the Rings set. And we are getting a Warhammer set and Doctor Who. Well, the Warhammer set was already made a bit for the what was it called? There's the those special online things that you can get. They're basically like promo cards and not really legal in anything other than Commander, because they also did how will Doctor Who work? Well, it's kind of like how does Stranger Things or the zombie show worked. The cards just kind of they printed them. They even made Street Fighter cards. Like, if we go to the MTG Street Fighter, you can see, like, this is actually a real card that you can get because of the secret layers, and that's what I was forgetting the word of. And they also have the yeah, you already have the Walking Dead ones. Okay. So yeah, Warhammer. because Abaddon the Despoiler. And they actually are making just these straight up boxes where you can buy a full on deck of this. So I already knew about these ones. And to be honest, I am a Warhammer fan. I would love to be able to get this, but I don't really get a chance to play Commander that often in person, so I don't think I'll be getting this anytime soon. Although I do love the art on these cards. Like, seeing Magic artists do Warhammer 40k is really cool. But, any case. Oh, does a Johnny get... A Johnny's apparently a sleeper agent? Oh no, a Johnny! Let's see, what's this do? Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature or planeswalker card, put it into your hand, otherwise you may put it on the bottom of your library. Distribute 3+1/+1 counters among up to 3 target creatures. They gain vigilance until end of turn. You get an emblem with whenever you cast a creature or planeswalker spell, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. Wow. So yeah, Johnny Sleeper Agent definitely got a scary ultimate right there. Ah, spoilers. Izzy. Haven't had a chance to look at what the storyline's supposed to be for this one yet. And Jai is this really long time planeswalker for the story, so to hear that she's going to be biting it, that's a bit of a shame. I have to admit, I really do like that they have these like kickers like this. It reminds me of the old Volver series of cards way back in the day. Yeah. They also have Braids come back. I mean, there's a lot of really cool cards. We'll actually maybe dedicate a different stream to going over all of these. But for now, let's go ahead and jump back into the games. Haven't either, it's just what the Magic stream today showed. Oh, okay. I mean, I'll have to take a look at the story and see what happens, because I actually do follow a number of the stories every so often, because there's a lot of fun interactions that you hear that happen between the characters, and it's interesting to know some of the characters' stories just because of what they go through. But in any case, we'll return to the games. If you're just joining, we're going with this thing that I've called Fractal Ascendancy. I'm just going to show it one more time for everyone on the screen. This was the deck idea. So it's a Broker's Ascendancy deck using Biomathematician as one of the reasons before it rotates out. And we're using this with the Emergent sequence. That way we can get some ramp as well as taking advantage of the Biomathematician skills. So I'm not sure how well this is going to work out overall, but we managed to win game 1 against Mono Black, so... oh, sorry. Your comments came in a little... It's that darn stream delay. I already started up the game once when I noticed that. After this, we'll take a look at the Limdol. And we'll see how well it works with the Liliana. Alright. So, on the open, this is a keep. Now, the question is, do we go for Emergence Sequence right away, or do we go for the Prosperous Innkeeper? Let's see, we're against black. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Emergence Sequence, grab ourselves a green source, because I think I'm going to just try to rush Falco Spar to the board. And there we go, we got Falco Spar and Runaway. This is actually really helpful to us. It means that we'll have the mana flexibility to be able to play the Ascendancy and keep all of our things untapped. Main thing that's so strong about Falco Spar is it comes with this shield counter. So not only is it going to be hard for the opponent to remove from the board, but it also does allow us to play a lot off the top of our deck. Alright, let's go for an Innkeeper. And it'll be the opponent's turn. Now, we will give them a card draw off the Shakedown Heavy attack. Actually, can we take the 9? If we take the 9, we can play Join the Dance. Join the Dance will give us some life, and we can also play Biomathematician same turn, I think. So, it's risky, but I'm going to take it. Ooh. Alright, that's really good. So, I'm going to do this. Pull the counter from the forest. Go for the beach. 2/2 creature. Biomathematician. Get ourselves some more life. We'll attack in. Alright, I'm pretty sure the opponent's going to set up for a sweeper here. But if they go for a Blood on the Snow, it doesn't kill Falco Spara. Alright, they're just going to Blood right away. They're not even going to attempt anything else. Alright, let's go for an Innkeeper. Pull a counter. Land. Go for +1/+1 counters. We'll attack first. Pull for the Ascendancy. Pull it from Innkeeper. Join the Dance. Alright, we are putting a lot of pressure on this opponent. They attack in, we just take it. We don't care about taking the 6. Because we are representing a lethal swingback. Sadly, we don't have a land for the Feldar Retreat here. Alright, we'll flash in Wandering Emperor. Go +1/+1 counter, first strike. Alright, we're putting the opponent where they have to sweep us again.
Strike
And if they try to go for a Blood on the Snow, we can still generate tokens from Wandering Emperor and join the dance. So there we go. We take down Mono Black again. Alright, we'll take a quick look at Lindell. Let's see. Oh, I was just, yeah, Lindell the Raven Man. Let's see, where is that card? Found it? Alright, so... Alright, switch to the browse capture here. So let's see, at the beginning of each end step, if a player discards a card this turn, you get to create a 1/1 black bird creature token with flying. This creature can't block. Each opponent discards a card, activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, I can see how that works really well, because you could play the Raven Man turn 2, you can go Liliana turn 3 and start using the plus to discard. I can see how that could be really good. Now, the only issue is those birds can't block. With that statement on the card, it makes the tokens actually a lot harder to use. I don't think the Raven Man's going to see a whole lot of play, but I don't think it's that bad, because it can only trigger at the end step. And so it's not a bad card, but it's not something I don't think is going to run away with the games. But alright, there we go. Yeah, so I didn't immediately switch the screen over once I was looking for the card. I was making sure I was at the right card before I flipped over. That way I wasn't, like, causing anybody issues because I was, like, quickly scrolling through all the cards. Alright, on the open, we're missing our 2-drops, but I like how we have Announcement, Mathematician. We already have all the mana kind of fixed, so we'll keep it. Now, Mathematician isn't super amazing without the Ascendancy, because it's just 3 mana for a 2/2 and a 1/1, effectively. Alright, I guess we're just going to keep playing against Mono Black today. Alright, well there's our Ascendancy. We'll go for the Announcement first. We'll take the hit. Alright, another land. We'll go for Ascendancy right now. No attacks. Generate the token first on the stack, then counters on everything. When we play as Wandering Emperor, it's going to be amazing because we'll just be able to keep down-ticking it. Oh, rude. They duress us. Alright. We're going to actually apply some blocks here to protect our face. Alright. Opponent uses an Infernal Grasp. We'll just pass it back. Alright, they're gonna go for a Blitz. We'll flash. We'll go for the minus here. Apply a block here.
Not much of a roadblock.
Now, I exiled the one that was blitzed to deny them the card draw. Go for Cathar. Gets that underdog off the board. We'll plus Cathar.
We've got the edge in this fight.
I decided to plus the Cathar, so that way it takes it out of the range of a Meat Hook Massacre. Alright, let's go for Innkeeper. And Falco Spara. I am taking a bit of a reckless action with that.
I have got new moves
Because
to
of
teach
how
you.
Blood Vial Purveyor works, but... We now... Yeah, alright, we managed to close it out. Because Falco Spara has that shield counter, we can block. Still suffer trample damage, but... Wrap it up again. Alright. We're back up into the diamond tier. This little Bant deck really causes issues for Mono Black. Be nice to like play against some of the other colors to get an idea of how it's working, but when the meta says Mono Black and we're winning against it, can't complain. Alright. I will try keeping this. We got effectively ramp for our hand. Trying to think what is... Let's see, so if we play Merchant Sequence, we want to search for a white source. By searching for a white source, it makes it so that way we can play the Ascendancy. Oh, don't short us on land, please. Let's still draw land, because I'm worried that they might just burn off the plains here. If they do, it's going to be really bad for us. Yep. Jeez. And go for it again. Fortunately, now it's only a 1-1. My opponent's probably debating whether they fire off another burn spell to kill the land again. And if I was the opponent, I probably would just... Because they saw we missed a land drop. It's better for them just to keep burning the land. But they go for a Cavalier for haste. Alright. We do hit another land drop. Go for the announcement. Pass it back. Now, the big question is, can we survive long enough against this opponent? Block, soak some damage. I have to play a spell this turn. So I'm going to exile Raiju.
You'll be safe, though. I am almost sad to see you go.
If I pass the turn, they get a +1/+1 counter to Cavalier, and we wouldn't be able to afford that hit to us.
Until next time, then.
Alright, we have to block, otherwise we're just straight up dead. Alright. Bring this out. Hit up the Cavalier. Pass back. And they don't... No breaks on this opponent. I'm trying to think, how can I block and survive? Unfortunately, they have Trample. So, even if we block, we're still dead. So, our only way to survive is to block like so. And no, we're still dead, so it doesn't matter how we block. So, yeah. Good game. Yeah, if we didn't get stuck missing that land drop the one turn, I think we could have recovered on that one. It would have been close, but I think we could have recovered. We might build a Camball deck. Camball was that white-black creature from before. Did they reprint, or did they bring him back with a new variation, or are you talking about just playing the current one that I know that's white black and drains the opponent for playing spells there, Izzy? Because that's the advisor. Camball. Select format. Historic. You're talking about this one, right? When I open a cast a non-creature spell, you make them lose 2 life, you gain 2 life? Yeah. Camball is one of those cards that's really good at taxing your opponent from playing spells. And in the historic format, it actually is not a bad card at all. Because of how many people rely on just cantripping into combos. If you're going to play in the Explore format, I think it still also can be a pretty good card. Because if you get that on board while you're trying to play against Greasefang combo and they don't immediately combo, you just drain them every single time they play a spell. Alright, on the open... I think we'll try keeping it. Lacking blue source for Falco Spara, but I think we have the right kind of cards to do well here. Oh, there's our blue source. Try wondering if I get greedy and hold on to that to try to go for Felnar Retreat with it. Might go Legendary Humans and use General Kudro as well. That actually would work out probably pretty well. Because that would be the white, black, green human deck. Alright, let's go... Pay 3 life. Sequence. Get ourselves a green source. From here, we can play the Feldar Retreat. But I think we'll hold up for Wandering Emperor. Pass it back to the opponent. The reason why I want to hold up for Wandering Emperor is because I want to be able to immediately get value off the Feldar Retreat when we play it. Should I make it Historic or Explorer or Brawl? Well... Alright, that unfortunately does hit our land. I'm gonna play the Emperor. We'll see if the opponent attacks it.
Anyone who harms my people must contend with me.
Now, here's the thing. If the opponent attacks Wandering Emperor, we can still activate it in response. Because of how it's worded. So this is just purely bait. So that way we can exile the Catilda. Alright, they pass. We'll get a samurai token.
We must protect the people.
Go for the beach. Go for Falco Spara. And I'm gonna go for another token.
Guards, to me.
Pass. Now the thing is, it's if you're just doing Orzhov, you could just make it a brawl deck and use that as a way to like be a just tax to sit on the board. But I don't think it's going to work out against certain deck types, just because they're all creature focused. Now, if the opponent had just done that onto there, we would have been in a lot of trouble, because I can provide chump block here.
See you later.
Alright, I got punished for trying to be, you know... I gambled against this opponent and lost the gamble. Alright, first trigger. And second trigger. I actually forgot that I need to do them in the other order. But it's okay. The 2/2 token's just going to be used as fodder block. The opponent plays another Michiko's Reign of Truth. We lose this Flying Catilda here. And yep, that is the game. So, yeah, I tried to bait an opponent, and it didn't work. I should have just held off and taken my lumps. If I had a second Emperor, it would have made more sense to try to do what I was doing, but... oh well. Sometimes you play to see if the opponent makes a mistake, and you harshly punish them for it. But if they don't fall for it, you get punished yourself. I'm actually trying to think, like, how do you build a Camball deck in Brawl? And you could just turn it into a hard control deck. And... just be able to keep replaying him. But then again, you can also... because I imagine you're saying that you want to use that as your commander for Brawl. Which is why I'm not 100% sure how to say anything about that. But if you want to use it for Explorer, they're actually, like I said, you could do the General Kudro style deck. And I thought that Kudro had green in it, but you're right, it's just black-white. I'm so used to green being splashed into it just because of Coco. I will keep this. Alright, unfortunately, we're playing a lot of slow lands here. Alright, might as well play the headquarters. Because it has to come and play tapped anyways. Alright, we'll go for a Brutal Cathar to seal up the Adeline. Alright, Adeline Part 2. Let's go... farmlands. Innkeeper. Join the dance. Alright. I honestly wasn't expecting Spikefield Hazard from our opponent. Oh, that's right, she's going to be sticking around. Well, that's going to be a problem. Alright. The plan. We pass the turn, we take our lumps. Well, we're going to use the day-night cycle here to flip this and switch which Adeline they have. Yep. We're taking lumps. I will still bring out the Emperor.
Now it's done. Keep watch for intruders.
Go for the lands. Emergent sequence. Get a forest. Mathematician. I'll turn it back to day. And we'll go +1/+1 counter on Brute. No attacks. Now, if they actually do manage to kill off the Brute, they'd only get one Adeline back. I mean, they get both of them back, but they have to still choose to only keep one. Alright, Adeline Part 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have enough to be able to play both of those. So I'm going to hold this in our hand. Pass it back. Alright, we'll join the dance. Mathematician. Go for a +1/+1 counter on this.
Show them how we
pass it back. Get rid of the third Adeline. This is how ridiculous a Brutal Cathar can be, though. Alright. They get back one Adeline. Alright, we block and kill that. You know, just in case, we're also going to throw that there. And we'll use this here. Alright. We're going to cycle. We've drawn way too many lands. Plus here.
Strike fast and strike hard.
We'll attack. And we pass. I'm not really attacking with the other creatures because they're just going to be blocked and killed. And I'm holding the extra 4/4 back just in case they... Alright.
I guess
Unfortunate.
that.
Another Angel Fire. We're gonna die to this Adeline, unfortunately. Alright. Join the dance, gain some life. Join the dance, gain more life. If it wasn't for Angel Fire Ignition, we'd be in a lot better place. Now, also, the fact that we haven't hit any of our +1/+1 counters to all of our creature type abilities is also being very, very painful to us. Alright, they can't use Angel Fire with the amount of mana they're presenting. There's an Ascendancy. That's what we've been looking for. That is loud when they have all those happen at once. Yep, Angel Fire. So... we block like so just to endure the strike. And we pass. Why are we drawing so many lands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, well, we'll make use of the land drop here, I guess. Very soon we're almost hitting a critical mass to just attack the opponent for lethal, but... with them going wide thanks to that land, it's going to take a little bit longer. Now, if the opponent was smart, they probably would have held that. Put this on the board. At this point, I can start just attacking and applying pressure. I just have to make sure not to overcommit my attacks. So, let's see. We can attack, attack, attack. Hold everything else back. Another Cathar to the board. So even if they had another Angel Fire, it will spike their life total with Adeline, but yeah, opponent realizes that it's a hopeless fight now. Because I think I had lethal on that next swing. Because, let's see, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers. Yeah, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13 attackers. Yeah, we had lethal. And even if we didn't have lethal, we came up like a little short. It was enough that it was going to force him to have to block everything. I won't lie, I was worried about getting through that one because of just how many Adelines they kept playing with Angel Fire Ignition. But it just shows just how powerful Angel Fire really can be. Alright, I think we have a pretty good hand here. So we can play this turn 1. Turn 2, we go for Pathway. Play for Sequence. Then we can maybe bring out a Cathar. Alright, we're against Mono Black again. Mono Black is the deck that we've had some tried and true experience against. Let's see if we can make it like a complete domination on Black whenever we play against it. Devil Ascendancy with Broker's Ascendancy and a Simic Ascendancy. Yeah, that would be kind of silly. Alright, we'll grab a Plains. I think what we do is we go for the wedding announcement. I don't have all the cards, I think, in that list yet. I mean, we can double check. I think I'm missing the Simic Ascendancies because they're so they weren't a card I built for back then, and I don't think they took away my copies of those cards, but I don't think I have those. Just a straight, simple answer. Alright. We'll take away the Sedgemoor Witch. We'll pay the 3 line. Pass it back. Now, the problem with taking away the Witch is it meant that if they used a sweeper, it would have been safe for them because they would sweep up the Witch, but... Alright. Innkeeper. The bar. Seal up the Witch again. Sending the attack. I know I give the opponent the eye twitch trigger here, but I want the card draw from this announcement right now. Because I really want lands for this Feldar Retreat.
My children drench them. Do what I demand.
I mean, that's a way of getting a land, but not quite what I was hoping for. Let's go for another announcement. Pass it back.
I always reward the loyal.
Alright. Grass from our opponent, which means that they're going to use that, get themselves a 1/1 token. Really need base plans. Alright, there we go. Feldar Retreat. Go for the lands. Just put a counter and give vigilance to everything. Just gonna try to pressure the Lilith here. Oh, they're willing to give up the Witch. I was not expecting that. I thought they would just double block, kill one, and then block, protect. Use the minus, regenerate the 2 missing spiders. Alright, still not quite what I was expecting from the opponent. I'm not going to complain that we got to keep both of our tokens here.
I will get
I thought we'd lose one. That is a I'm going to board wipe you type attack. So we block, kill Sedgemoor Witch. Give up cards on board.
I will a gift in exchange for loyalty. Subservience will.
What is this? Did they just try to bluff me or something? Because that just seemed like a bad attack to them. Alright, let's join the dance. Gain some life. Go for an Ascendancy. think I just have to hold on the back for blocks here. Alright. Block, kill, block, kill, block.
We will slay our enemies. My will cannot be denied.
Alright, I don't understand this opponents at all. They do things in a weird way. But if that's the case, we'll go for lands. Counters vigilance. Kill Lolth.
I return to the abyss.
Join the dance just because I want the extra life, because I'm worried about our life total. I know there's a good chance I just get hit by a sweeper here, but I figure trying to make sure we have a decent life total while we have Innkeeper isn't a bad idea. And that's the best that we can block. Alright, there they go. They finally hit the sweeper.
You could have such power, but you are too weak to take a gift in exchange for loyalty.
We'll just join the dance. Oh man, why can't I hit the lands for these Feldar retreats?
My words are for ambitious minds.
Alright, so we have to sacrifice one of these. We'll give up a festivity. There we go. Finally hit a land. So, let's see. Mathematician. Go for the 2/2 body. Go for wedding announcement. Pass. The opponent hits a Meat Hook Massacre, we just lose.
Come, I'll tell you a secret.
We're also currently dead to that flyer. Man, this is one of those problems with Feldar Retreat. It's a great card, but if you just draw them without drawing lands, they're kind of a useless card. Attack here. There's not really anything we can do. I mean, we get a card draw, but even if we were to top deck a Wandering Emperor, it wouldn't do anything. Mirror's Call, if we'd drawn that, I could have gone Feldar Retreat, played the land, gone double +1/+1 counter, vigilance on everything, forced him to block more, but it still wouldn't have been enough. Oh, to think we'd lose because of not drawing lands in this deck. Let me check and see if I have the Ascendancy, like you were asking Izzy. Let's see. Historic. Blue, green. I actually have 3 of them. So, whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, put that many growth counters on Simic Ascendancy. Doing it for upkeep, if Simic Ascendancy has 20 or more growth counters on it, you win the game. So, I actually can think of how you can do this. So, let's see, where's the little 1-drop? That whenever any creature with a +1/+1 counter gets targeted, you get stuff. Swarm Shambler, that's it. So, this card's good in the deck because whenever any of your creatures that have +1/+1 counters on it get targeted, we'll at least get the 1/1 insect tokens to replace a spot on the board. Wait, which format did I put myself in? Out on Historic. I'm gonna explore. I'm trying to think, like, how do we not lose to certain combo decks? And I think because we have blue in here, we just use some counter target spell type of functions. See, we could just run some just simple disruptions. Make disappears. Now, how are we going to make our creatures? I mean, we could still use Wandering Imp. Oop. Combine Guild Mage. This turn, each creature with you control that enters battle with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Move a +1/+1 counter from target creature control to another target. So you're saying just because of the first skill. And I don't know how useful that one's going to be. Let's see. Conclave Mentor. Oh yes, of course, Conclave Mentor. But let's see. I mean, if I have the ability to. I'd say we'd use Back Walker. This card would do wonders in the deck. But I don't have the rare crash for it. Because if you were to have this, that meant that you'd be able to get a creature that, when it dies, you get a whole bunch of little Thopter tokens. And you can keep cranking it every turn. And then we could potentially sacrifice it to counter a spell just to get that population of 1/1 tokens to the board. Whether we're actually counterspelling something or not, that's important. Let's see, what else do we have here that's important? Anything counter related that you can think of? Actually, things that just generate tokens in general aren't bad for this deck idea. So actually, that blue-green fractal guy I was using probably wouldn't be too bad here. Biomathematician. Pledge did what again? Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and gain 1 life for each creature you control. Yes, that is a good card, but I need to figure out cards to put in the deck that count as bodies. Actually, I don't think Pledge of Unity is going to work out too well because we already have Broker's Ascendancy. Kind of like takes up the same kind of slot card option-wise. Let's see, what generates tokens that are cheap spells? We aren't really made to attack. But Legion's Landing probably wouldn't be bad for the deck. I'm thinking Legion's Landing is probably good because we can get the 1/1 Vampire token that has lifelink, and then we could potentially just crank out tokens with this land. And let's see. Sunset Revelry only is helpful if we're behind, so I don't really want to use that. I mean, that's not bad. I always spell this wrong. I don't know why. I always keep thinking it's Vorn, just like Vorn. I always, for some reason, skip the I for Vorn. So, there we go. We got Vorn collects. Oh, just maybe 2 copies. Should be fine. Let's see. I'm trying to think. There's some other cards I'm thinking of that should be good for our deck, but I'm forgetting what they are. I'm gonna go with at least a Shalai in the deck. Because this allows us to give all of our creatures and ourselves hexproof while it's on board. It's a decent sized body, so it probably isn't too bad. Oh, I just thought of something. Where is... Alright, how'd this one work again? Once enters battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Planeswalker spells cost 1 less to cast. Not quite what I was hoping. Let's see, gets +1/+1 for each permanent you control. Then adds 1 mana of that color. There they are, Knights of Autumn. These will probably help out the deck a lot, because it has the ability to be used to gain life, destroy artifacts, enchantments, and it can come and play with counters. So it does basically everything the deck wants. We're at the point where it's like, alright, I think we have an idea here. Now it's a matter of just kind of trimming around. Maybe we'll just go 2 Legion landings. Just 2 Biomathematicians. I don't think the Biomathematician's that amazing, but... Actually, let's just take these out. Let's see, do we have a 4th? We do have a 4th. Okay. We don't have anything that really interacts with our opponent's side of the board outside of dealing with artifacts and enchantments. We have some counterspell action, but... I guess Wandering Emperor deals with creatures. I guess this is an idea. I'm just not sure how all these ascendancies are going to work out here. Because it's one of those cards we want on the board, and it gives us a lot of value for potentially just instantly winning the game. The only drawback is Vorticlix kills all sagas. It shuts down a lot of planeswalkers from entering the battlefield and immediately impacting the board. So Vorticlix is an amazing card. You are correct. I'm just trying to think, like, is there anything else that we might need in the deck? Alright, let's see. A couple breeding pools, a couple pathways. Some temple gardens. Alright, so we got 3, 2, 5. Okay, what's the idea? Each creature you control is able to be a mana dork. Let's see. The question is, if we put him in, what do we take out? I'm honestly not 100% sold on this Guild Mage here. I think we need some more, maybe, early creatures for this deck idea, too. Like, we have a lot of 2-drops, but only 6 of them are creatures. Like, how many creatures are we actually running at the moment? We're currently running 17. We're a bit light on creatures. So... maybe cut a disruption. Trim a land. Because disruptions kind of count towards the lands anyways. Well, I understand that. The problem is it doesn't immediately like give counters. It doesn't guarantee counters going up ever. That's why I'm a little worried about it. I mean, we could always try the Skyship Plunder that whenever it deals combat damage to player for each kind of counter on target permanent or player. Actually, I really like that. Let's try that. That seems amazing. Like, it's like Guild Mage here, but it is a combat requirement. But if it deals combat damage to a player for each kind of counter on target permanent or player, give that permanent another counter of that kind. So we kind of get a mini, what do they call that thing? The skill allows us to put counters on everything. It's just only for one target. So let's see. We'll try two plunders. Now, what should we trim for our last card? Should we just maybe trim like one more land? I'm currently at 23 lands, effectively 25 because of disruptions. I think I'm just going to turn this to a one-of. And we'll try it like that. Hope that sounds fine. Alright, let's try out your counter ascendancy deck. We're going into the Explorer format here, so let me update the thing here. All right. Let's try it out. Tempered Veteran? Let me actually quickly look at that before we continue on then. What's a Tempered Veteran? I don't remember that card's name. Tempered Vet. Actually, I kind of like Tempered Vet a little more than the Guild Mage. Now, we can only use it to put counters on something that already has a counter on it. But it's a little easier to use. I actually do like that a bit more. We'll try that. Because I think the Guild Mage issue is it's going to cost, basically make it so that way if any creature you play costs an extra 2 to actually try to have it enter play with just a +1/+1 counter on it. Which is why I'm not feeling that one too much. Alright, on the open, I think we actually have a pretty interesting start here. So we get the Ascendancy, we get the Mentors. The question is, what order do you play these in? I think we play Mentors first. Because that way we can know if, like, if we're going to Knight of Autumn here, or, you know, how we need to play the hand. Oh, I just realized something I probably should have put in, which is just a couple copies of Snakeskin Veil. That could really cost us not having those in this deck. It's such an obvious, like, an add to the deck, considering we just got paired against Witch's Oven, claim the Firstborn. Oh well, we use Knight, we kill off the Oven. Alright. Knight of Autumn, to the board. Destroy artifact or enchantment. Body dropper, okay. On blue, let's go for another Mentor. Pass it back. There may be a chance we just use this Storage Disruption against the opponent. Yeah, another Claim the Firstborn. I'm going to attempt Jawari's Disruption. This way I don't have just a free sack outlet with the Body Dropper. Unless they play another land. No block. They could still have Village Rights, but alright, there we go. We managed to successfully deny them their steal and sack option. Alright, we'll pay 2 life. And pass it to the opponent. We can activate this at any time, so we can hold up the counter magic and sacrifice as needed. Alright. They get a Thoughtseize. We can't really stop it. They take away our other Knight of Autumn. Gonna go ahead and attack with this? Nah. Pay the 2 life, pass back. I mean, we may as well cast this to tax the opponent playing the Kroxa. How many counters do we need on this again? 20? Oh man, it's so many counters when you put on that. Can we stop drawing lands, please? Let's see, how many cards do you have in your graveyard? 6? Alright, we're not going to be able to... We attack it. Opponent's going to block with the Unlucky Witness here. So they can only play one of those 2 cards that have been exiled. I think they'll just play the Ob. sacrifice a body dropper. It grows both of them. But more importantly, it gives them the ability to just drain us a lot from the pluses.
Streets will run. Defy me, and you'll lose every by coin or carnage.
And now we're currently at the point that if we attack in, we're just dead. If we don't attack in, we're just dead. Doesn't really matter where we go, we're just dead. Sadly, we come up just a little bit short here, but that's a good game. So even if I went and decided to try to attack both the obs here, they just block both. Plus, play Croxa, we lose.
Pleasure doing business. My goons will make quick work of you.
Alright. Opponent, I'm not going to wait for you to try to flex your muscles there. You definitely have it. Yeah, that was the case if we unfortunately just drew too many lands. I do feel like the counterspell magic does help. Problem was, I don't have the main card I want in our deck, which is the Hangerback Blocker. I think that would be a huge advantage to this deck. Alright, we'll keep it. So, two of these don't really help us, but I guess having a backup's still not terrible. Alright, so we're against colorless artifacts. Alright, we did the worst thing possible. We drew all 3 copies of Simic Ascendancy. Yep. Literally the worst thing that we can do. Alright, we'll just land pass here. We can use Make Disappear, counterspell something, and we can tick up Swarm Shambler. Fun thing with Swarm Shambler, due to the order of the triggers, we can resolve... I was going to say, if they try to target it, we could resolve the target resolution for the counter, and then we could sacrifice it to the casualty skill part of that. I don't know why I always keep trying to say casualty, but casualty skill. We'll bring this on green. Pass. And we'd just be able to get extra counterspell range due to that little combo. Alright. So if they equip that attack, that'd be a 4-4. We can make this a 4-4 Swarm Shambler to block. The question is it worth trading? Probably is. Alright. Block, activate, activate, let's see, go Knight of Autumn, destroy Shadow Spear. Alright. Play the land tapped. I destroy Shadow Spear because this has protection from multicolored, so we can't block it, and them being able to just races for life with lifelink would be an issue.
Our actions determine the course of history. Some solutions must be built.
Yep, there's good old Karn. I wonder why they have black-green splash in their deck. Normally you see this deck with either white or blue, so I'm kind of curious why the black-green. Alright, we'll take the hit. Mentor, great draw. Pass it back. The only problem with the Mentor draw is, again, we're looking at just multicolor cards against cards that are immune to multicolor. But thanks to the Simic Ascendancy, we can grow our creatures potentially to fight these. The problem is just we might be a turn slow. No blocks. We'll grow Mentor. Wandering Imp is actually really good. Pass it back. I mean, you have a point that we need something that probably has passive +1/+1 counter ability, which is why I was trying to go for something like a Swarm Shambler, where you could just force it on its own ability. What does this do again? Oh, they're just activating it because they can. Oh, it's not where they can put counters on Karn. Because choose counter on target premier player. Yeah, they just keep upticking it. Alright. Get rid of the construct. Block.
This is what
block.
you get for hurting my people.
Now, it had to be a tap land. Fortunately, we need to do this.
I guess that's it then. Guards,
Bring out another
to me.
Ascendancy. Unfortunately, doesn't, like I said, do anything extra for us. Other than just be a backup. Fight rigging. Interesting. I was not expecting a fight rigging in their deck. Really? You had to get Ugin? Yeah, that's big Ugin, so that just does a -2, gets rid of our whole board, and they attack for lethal. Let's see. Alright. Well, let's see. What's Primal Empathy? Oop. Well, actually, the issue is, we have cards that put counters on our things, like the Broker's Ascendancy here. We're just not drawing enough creatures. Like, we've drawn a total of Knight of Autumn, Conclave Mentor, Swarm Shambler, and we've only done 1, 1, 1 in that last game. We haven't really seen the Tempered Veteran or things like that impact the board. But if there was anything that developed a counter, let's see, put counter, does that help us out here? I remember Lore Scale Codal. It's oh wait, we have Merfolk Skydiver as an option. That actually is really good, and I think that's better than this. So it's very expensive to activate this one, yes, but this is proliferate. So proliferate allows us to put a counter on all of our targets that we want to put it on. So I think that will probably help us out a bit. Now, Lord Scale Codal is a draw trigger, put +1/+1 counter on. Here it is. I'm only concerned this one might not grow fast enough. But we could try it. But again, it comes a case of, alright, we're putting these cards in. What do we take out for them? I guess we could always trim like a Knight of Autumn. But still, I don't want to go below 3 of them. Well, Leech's Landing is importantly giving us a 1/1 for 1, so it's giving us an early body. If we attack with 3 or more creatures, we'll be able to transform this to just keep dropping out 1/1 lifelinkers. Now, we can use these as chump blockers, or we can also use them to grow and be able to just give us huge bursts of life. And that's why I thought having a lifelinker in the deck was a useful thing. Now, it's also because it has a chance to turn into a land, means that it helps us with all these mana dumps because of Simic Ascendancy and the Skydiver now. Before we had the other creature that activated off just pure white. But we also had a Shalai in the deck that was a mana dump as well. I mean, I guess we could cut Shalai. It might just be running a little too slow. I just figured Shalai was going to be good if we come across burn decks. Because all the burn has to now go to Shalai. It can't target anything else. I guess we can always go down and make disappear. Like, we have only 20 creatures in deck. So that's one of those things, once you're trying to build one of these decks, it's trying to find the right balance of cards. Which is one of the reasons why I won Wandering Emperor in here, because it serves as removal, it serves as creature generation, it serves as +1/+1 counter generation. So it serves everything we're looking for. I mean, we always could try a Johnny as well. But I'm lacking this Johnny. Because it has the -2 to put a +1/+1 counter on each of our creatures and loyalty on our planeswalkers. But the other nice thing about this is it's just upticks for life, so. Let's see, we made actually a few adjustments here. So we've added some lore scales, we added skydivers. So we did some tweaks. We can go ahead and give this another try. The problem is we're trying to base ourselves around kind of a dead card. Ascendancy is one of those cards. It's a if you're doing all this +1/+1 counter generation, Why are you trying to win for free off of placing 20 counters? That's when you could just, you know, beat face. Alright. We'll try keeping this. I feel like this isn't a bad hand to keep. We got a Swarm Shambler to start. Ooh, a Plunderer. That seems amazing. So, Plunder will allow us to attack in and get the counters for our cards. Let's go ahead, pay some life. Knight of Autumn. 2+1/+1 counters. Attack. Another +1/+1 counter. Alright, Gaida for our opponent. So we can attack in. Attack in with these two. They block Skyship. We flash in Emperor, +1, first strike.
Anyone who harms my people must
Saying whose name wrong?
contend with me.
Wanderer? Because I'm calling it Wander instead of Wandering.
Show them how we
Yeah,
treat
though.
our enemies.
Yeah. Who am I talking about? Who are we talking? Oh. Yeah, I call her Gaida. Yeah. Gaida. Alright. Gaida. I mean, it's not a real person. It's kind of hard to know how exactly we're really supposed to pronounce it. Alright. Did not actually need to shock myself, but I did it anyways. Gotta assert that dominance. Alright. +1/+1 counter for strike.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Attack. They'll probably give us a chump block with the 1/1 Spirit. Snakeskin Veil. Okay. That does hurt. We draw another land for Vorn. We should be in a pretty good position here. But the opponent could always just go Coco, and yeah, we could just lose right now. Because the amount of life gain from Bishop of Wings if they had another Righteous Valkyrie is just... That's game. Yep. Good game. The reason why this is game is because they have Resplendent Angels. Resplendent Angel's going to drop out another angel. That angel is going to be another 4/4 that becomes a 6/6. So they're going to gain another 14 life. And this is why I have the Counterspell Magic in the deck. But sadly, we didn't draw it. And we don't even draw the land to get even show Vorn, so yeah. Righteous Valkyrie, Bishop of Wings combo. I'll be honest, I was not 100% sure that the opponent was going to have a Snakeskin Veil in their deck. That's not very common. Like, their deck list sometimes uses it, sometimes it doesn't. But that also, even if they if they had the Snakeskin Veil, they didn't have the Snakeskin Veil. If I didn't attack with that creature to try to apply the pressure to deny them that life total, it didn't matter because Coco hitting what it did. Alright. Alright, here's the hand where we can possibly see Legion's Landing actually do something. So I'm interested to see if this will work. Well, I mean, it was an interesting idea here. We'll do this as probably the last game for it. I think the standard version of this deck is a lot easier to maintain. And when you have to deal with these kind of cards, it's really hard to play a deck as fair as this. I say fair because we're not doing what's generally seen as kind of a busted set of cards. Alright, we'll pay 2 life, bring out a Legion's Landing, pass it back to the opponent. With Make Disappear, we can prevent them from getting important cards. That's not an important card. Alright, we'll just activate. Attack in. Get the transform. Let that resolve. Go for another mentor and pass. So this will allow us to be able to still use Make Disappear as a counterspell option. We have Wandering Emperor for next turn with Make Disappear. I'm gonna have to let Gaida resolve. Or Gaida. How do you have it pronounced again? Gaida? Giada? Alright, that can resolve. I'm going to attack with both of these. Opponent just takes it. We'll pass. Gonna flash this in, minus get rid of Youthful Valkyrie.
Run away. You'll be safer.
Still get rid of this.
You're done.
But I think we have to counterspell this. Drew way too many lands.
Remember your training.
One, two, three, four. Go to 1. This is one of the reasons why the Angel deck is not really a fair deck to have to play against. These just generate so much life for a player. And, like, there's just so many things that just... It's hard to handle.
Belongs in a place that
Now, that's a card never used in this deck. This opponent is just throwing this in here because they can, I guess.
our true strength lies in our friendships.
I guess you could potentially use it for the 0 to sweep a board. Alright.
Back to wandering.
Yeah, and unfortunately we just don't draw anything. Like, the number of cards that we're using are considered good cards when played within, like, a sealed environment. But when you take them into, like, the competitive scene, they don't really work. Yeah, so this deck here, unfortunately, it's never going to work with the Simic Ascendancy. Simic Ascendancy is just not a very good card. It is a win condition, but in order for you to win with this, you have to fail at killing your opponent with +1/+1 counters. And I think you're just better off just rushing hard with the +1/+1 counters, that it's not worth running the Ascendancy. Like, Broker's Ascendancy, that's perfectly fine. I think you actually have a decent idea using Broker's Ascendancy with some of these cards. Like, Conclave Mentor with Ascendancy works really well. But I think the issue was, one, we never drew the Ascendancy. So, right there, we're already failing at one of our goals. So, I honestly can't say what we could do other than just abandoning this card in general from the deck. To maybe improve this better. Like, Lord Scale Quotal is great because it triggers every turn for the purpose of Ascendancy here, but it's super slow. Considering most of the time players are trying to, like, kill you by turn 3, turn 4 in the Explorer format, a card that only gets a +1/+1 counter whenever you draw a card that you play on turn 3, it's too slow. That's the sad thing about it. Or at least with this build. Oh well. Let's go ahead and switch back to some of the deck ideas. So, let's go ahead and round off the end of the stream with back in the standard format. Okay, so this is a deck idea that I kind of came up with, and I realized a little later that I accidentally forgot that these cards were going to rotate. But every other card in this deck, rotation proof. So all of them will be around, with the exception of Jawari's Disruption. And this is a deck all about blowing up the board as many times as you will ever need. So the board wipe we use is Farewell. We get to exile all artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and if we want to, graveyards. But in this case, we try not to exile the graveyard, because we are going to be using Shigeki, Jukai Visionary. We use this for the channel ability to be able to return X non-legendary cards from our graveyard back to our hand. This will allow us to retrieve the Farewell, but it allows us also to retrieve Colossal Sky Turtle. Why is this important? Because we can discard Colossal Sky Turtle and bring back Shigeki. So, right there, that just leads to being able to cast Farewell until the opponent rage quits. Now, we actually do have win conditions in the deck, because we have the ability to play the Wandering Emperor as a planeswalker that sits on the board, and we will just be able to kill them with the Vigilant tokens. But we also have a couple manlands in the deck in the form of Cave of the Frost Giant, or Frost Dragon. We have a Hall of the Storm Giant, and we even have a Lair of the Hydra. Other ways to keep looping cards, by the way, besides Sky Turtle, is we also run Endless Detour. So this allows us to target a spell, a non-land permanent, or a card in a graveyard and put it on top or bottom of their library. So we effectively get a counter spell that's not countering the spell, just puts the card on top or bottom of the player's choice. Now, what this also means is that we can actually go Endless Detour on a turn that we see that the opponent's not doing anything and put Shigeki back on top of our deck, or even a Farewell, whatever we happen to need, to help us survive, to start doing this. We are running Sunset Revelry, so that way we can generate ourselves fodder blockers, we can give ourselves back life, and if we manage to drop our hand below our opponents, we get some card draw. We have spot removal in the form of March of Otherworldly Light, because more exile. Fateful Absence, just because even though we give them a clue, there's a chance that they don't even get a draw off of it, because we could Farewell before they sacrifice it. But even if we give them the card draw, because we're just going to blow up the board as many times as we are with Farewell, shouldn't be too much of an issue. Last but not least, we have some counterspell action in Make Disappear, and as I mentioned, this is the only card that's going to rotate, which is Dwarf's Disruption. We have a little card draw action in Memory Deluge and the All-Seeing Arbiter, and we have ramp in the form of Greater Tanuki. We'll show you how well the deck works, and it will probably cause a lot of people to rage quit before we ever actually successfully beat an opponent with creatures. Should probably just like title this "Making a Player's Rage Quit." All right. Well, on the open, we have a lot of what we're looking for, so we'll keep it. Got some interaction, got Memory Deluge. All we just need is another blue source. Should be pretty good. Okay, really need to get those lands. We're just gonna fire off to kill that right away. Alright, that's a green source, not what we're looking for exactly. Need a blue source. Alright, Fable for our opponent. I'll go with just putting Shigeki to the board. Pass it back. Shigeki does have the ability to return to her hand to try to dig for lands. So if this gets to stick on the board, we will go for that. See, opponent discards just Lair of the Hydra. Opponent is going to probably wish they kept that. Alright, I'm going to actually Faithful Absence my own creature here. Because I don't want to let them exile it. This will also give us an investigation. Since this can only affect creatures, I'm fine with just firing this off right away. But we do cause the opponent to, you know, think because they have this as an activate. I don't know what other instant spell interaction they have. Because, like I said, I kill off our own Shigeki because I'm just in Desperation Draw mode. I need mana. Okay, we can discard this. We can bounce something. We can also discard it to get something back from the graveyard. I'm trying to think, like, what can we do here? This has just not been a good draw. I think we discard to get rid of one of these tokens. Alright. There was the idea of maybe bouncing the Legion Angel back to hand. But I think I'm just SOL here because I didn't draw lands. Fire this off right away just because it denies the opponent the ability to copy it with Kiki Jiki. But you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and scoop it up. We did not hit lands for 6 turns. Actually, no, it was... We hit 1 land out of... what was that? 7 turns of drawing. So, yeah, that's just bad luck. The deck is running 26 lands. So it's not like I'm being cheap with my lands here. Alright, we'll keep this. Revelries. See blue. Alright. Alright, here's a fun thing. The opponent can't actually counter the channel with most cards because this is an ability, not actually a cast. Get ourselves a Plains. Go for the land. Pass it back to the opponent. I may just discard Sky Turtle here just to get the Tanuki to discard for more land. Yep. It's kind of a good thing we did that because we missed the land drop. Like, we did accelerate ourselves ahead of the opponent. We'll grab ourselves a green source, I guess. Okay, so we can actually use Shigeki, get both those cards back. The opponent's not doing anything. We'll slowly creep ahead on value against them. So here's a problem where we just still need to draw lands naturally to maintain this type of value. Freaking heck. A deck I jam with more lands, I just cannot draw them. Because it's 26 lands plus 2 Jawari's Disruption. It's almost a 50% draw rate on lands, and we cannot draw even a quarter. I guess I should just cut it back down to like a 22 card land deck, because then I always flood. let's see. We're gonna have to discard anyways. May as well discard, fetch a land. Pass it back. I'm gonna detour that. Let's see. Yep. By going for the detour, I'm just trying to force the opponent to go slower. Maybe get them to use a counterspell here. Man, I hate RNG sometimes. Oh, this is just painful. Yep. We'll discard. Grab the Tanuki. Discard Tanuki. Get another land. Okay. I feel like this is just going to become a giant counterspell war here. And the problem is we don't have any counterspells. And they already have enough mana to pay for a counterspell. So let's go ahead and attempt Farewell right now. It's not a huge value Farewell, but eating away at their counterspells, I think is something we have to do. Alright, opponent goes for a Memory Deluge. We'll be able to use Revelry now, get ourselves some life back. Get ourselves another body to the board. I'm just afraid we're just going to hit now, like, at some point, a pocket of land and just be able to do nothing. Because we spent so long not drawing lands, and it's the wrong kind of action. Alright. Go for Revelry. One, two. So we can actually discard Shigeki, get 2 cards back. I have to admit, I'm a little hesitant to discard the Shigeki, because if we do, we only have 1 more Shigeki in the deck. So if they decide to go Farewell, Exile, Graveyards, we'll actually be in trouble. But I guess we could always just discard Sky Turtle in response to get it back. Because if we discard, we go get ourselves Farewell, get ourselves Sky Turtle. Alright, another restoration. Opponent taps themselves down really low, so we should be able to resolve this Farewell. Thanks to the Make Disappear in hand, because we have just enough mana to do both. Alright, so X2. Farewell, Sky Turtle. And there we go. We got the opponent to scoop it up. See, as I said, we're not likely to actually ever win by putting things to the board. We're just going to make our opponents rage quit here. What was in there? It was just a Doomscar. Yeah. I was worried that was a Sot coming. Like, if you want to shut down this Shigeki deck, you either just run things that allow you to exile the graveyard, or you give yourself, in blue, Test of Talents. Problem is, Test of Talents is going to rotate. So, Graveyard Hate is the way to beat this deck. I guess Hand Hate also, but... we'll keep... So we can't play Shigeki until turn 3. At that point, though, it's a case of we may need to use Absence or Detour. We only use 2 Detours because they kind of an okay card, but not vital for the deck. They're just kind of like backups to the Sky Turtle. Alright, so probably red-white aggro here. We'll just land and pass. I don't go for the Shigeki to the board, because they possibly just have burn for it. So I wait a turn so I can go land, Shigeki, and hold up Make Disappear. This also gives us the allowance to hold up Fateful Absence and Endless Detour, depending on what the opponent does. Magma Opus. Okay. So, it's probably Jeskai. So red, white, blue, which means we might see them go for... Oh, shoot. What's the name of that card? Kyrie? Is that the right name? I could be mixing up the name. Alright, Punch is going to pass it. We'll go lands. We'll go for the Shigeki. Now, the opponent does have a lot of 3-cost burn spells here. Or, I mean, it's not 3 costs, but 3 damaging burn spells that they could be playing. Between a Braid and Dragon's Fire. Now, Dragon's Fire more than likely in their deck. One sad thing is this deck that we're playing against will be rotating out of the format. And that's partially because one of the key cards, Magma Opus, is rotating. But there are other backup cards of Goldspan Dragon will be rotating as well. Okay, that's fine. Go for the Beach, because Beach allows us to now have double white for Emperor. Probably still better to go Hall of Storm Giants, because I don't think we'll be going for Emperor. If they go for a Goldspan, we end up trying to use Detour on it, because they'll have the extra mana from the treasures to pay for the Disappear. And now if they counterspell our Detour, we counterspell the Goldspan. So are you patient enough to wait a turn? They are not. And the fun thing is, I can use Make Disappear here to counterspell the Goldspan itself. Now, instead of it going on top or bottom of their deck, it's just straight gone. So we played around the Goldspan Dragon, I think, very well. We're getting another Shigeki to hand. Not exactly that helpful, but we'll just land pass. If they go for another Goldspan, we can flash in Wandering Emperor. Well, they don't. So we activate Shigeki. Dig for a land. We hit Odawara. Unfortunately, we throw 2 Farewells into the graveyard, but we can bring those back with Shigeki, so... Alright, we'll just land. Pass back to the opponent. We'll attempt the Wandering Amp to get rid of the reflections. Now, the opponent has to try to think, like, what do they do here? Because Make Disappear, we have more than enough mana to pay for it. They're going to go for a cover-up, huh? They actually get to exile it. That's a bit annoying. We'll get rid of the PPGP still. So the opponent actually has counterspell magic that exiles, which is going to be an issue. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So we can do this for X3. Get back both Farewells, get back Fateful Absence. I don't feel like we care too much. Well, I guess we can get the Endless Detour, actually. So, Detour, Farewell, Fateful Absence. So that way we can play it, exile everything. see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, there's gold spam. One, two, three. Detour, farewell, fateful absence. Let's... I'm gonna go for all the options here. Because I don't want them shuffling in Devious Cover-Up. If they come up with another one. We will lose this Shigeki here, this Farewell. But I think that's a price we can pay. Let's go Fateful Absence, get rid of the dragon. Alright, we get rid of another spell this way. Gonna take a beating here. We can play Sunset Revelry. It gives us 2 ground blockers for the next turn. We can then use Detour or March to handle what's on board. So go Revelry, March. We should have enough mana. Alright. Revelry. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, so we have just enough. Alright, so let's see. We've answered Goldspan, 2 Mirror Breakers. The land's an issue, but we can always just bring back March to survive that. Let's see here. 1, 2. If I bring back 2 cards, I can do March Revelry. Play Revelry, gain some life. Or I can just pass it to the opponent's turn. Add all 3 cards back. This way we can hold up Detour, Sky Turtle, discard. Depending on what the opponent's doing. Really, they discard Hinata. Alright, they're going to attack in with just a token, or... No, they stay completely on defense. Alright. Add all 3 back. Lands. Revelry just to gain life. Pass back. This allows us to hold up a lot of mana for this March. And it also allows us to hold up mana for Sky Turtle. Alright, they pass. So, discard. Grab Shigeki. Detour the token. I'm trying to see if they have a counterspell and try to force them to play it. Boseiju is a great draw. Because now we can use this to discard, get rid of the land before it can attack. Only exile the board. Do not exile the graveyard. Pass it to the opponent. Alright, Hall of Storm Giants going live. We Boseiju. Only drawback to Shigeki is we cannot return the Boseiju because it's legendary. Because it's non-legendary cards. Already, this is kind of an annoying combo to deal with, so I'm kind of glad it's got a little balancing to it. We pass it back to the opponent. Alright, opponent still sticking it out, though. They're not willing to just scoop this one up. Alright, let's go for a March. X0. Am I sure I want to target this? Yes, I am. Pay the 3. We still have an extra 5 mana left over. Alright, we get the exile there. That allows us to discard this, go get ourselves another land. Farewell, get rid of the board. Pass it back. Alright, Hinata for our opponent. We can only do X1, so not worth discarding yet. Revelry just to gain the life. We do make it easier for them to play the Hinata for its effect by doing that. But they already have more than enough mana that they can play the spell to tap things easily enough. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, X3. 1, 2, 3. Farewell. Turtle. Trying to think like what's the best other card to grab here. Possibly Detour. Because we can use Detour to put the spell back on top of their deck if they try to hold the stop on us. Attack. Farewell. I still save all the artifacts, creatures, enchantments just in case, you know, something gets flashed in weird. And slowly we just keep exiling all of our opponent's threats. Alright, they go for another Hanada. Sky Turtle, discard. Get back Shigeki. Alright, this isn't worth holding on to, so we'll just play it for the land. If you're kind of wondering why I'm not actually attacking them with the Storm Giants, it's actually beneficial for us to still have them have a lot of life. That way, every time we grab Sunset Revelry, we can just get that guaranteed 4 life recovery. So we only really try to start punching in once when we know the opponent is just kind of out of gas. Alright, so they're going to go for that right now. We will just... This unfortunately is a target situation. But we'll put that back into their hand. Or on top of their deck, which they then put back into their hand. 1, 2... 1, 2, 3... So we can still do X3 with Shigeki here. So... grab these 3 again. Backup Sky Turtle is great. At this point, the opponent tries to go for Counterspell. We just detour the Counterspell. If they go for the burn spell now, we just let the burn spell resolve. Sure, it's going to hurt, but it still means that we exile the creature. Alright, they let it go. Alright, they choose not to use Opus. It's a long slugfest we have going on here. Alright, that is a gold span. Let's see. Do we detour the gold span? I think we let the gold span resolve. How much damage does this do again? 4? Yeah, it's 4. Discard, add... Rev... That was a misclick. I meant to grab Shigeki. Oh well. That's fine, it's fine. I was starting to say Revelry, I'm like, oh wait, no, I need Shigeki, because I'm discarding this, not... Alright. We're still good, we're still good. It's still good, it's still good. Now, Sky Turtle would be great on the board, just be this big body that's hard for the opponent to deal with. But... we can't loop our cards without... you know, playing the Sky Turtle. Alright, so we go for the land. We play Revelry. Because it'll give us a card draw. Because we now have less cards in them. So we're going to get 2 creatures. 4 life. Everything's good. Iganjo is a great draw. Because we can use that to kill off the dragon. Pass it back. Opponent's really trying to puzzle this together. Let's see, this costs 3. Get rid of this now. And this isn't a cast, so regular counterspells don't work on this. Now, we do know the opponent does run Swirling Mists, so they could potentially still protect Goldspan. Alright, they're going to Opus. So far, we let this resolve. One, two... One, two... Alright, so they're gonna phase them out, so that way we can't target them, is their idea. We go for the detour. They can still use the counterspell here because they have 4 mana. Because of Goldspan. Alright, so they lit that die. One, two... We can only do it for 2? That's not good. Let's grab Sky Turtle. And we'll grab... Detour. I'm grabbing these just because if our opponent does end up with another Magma Opus, Detours are our best bet against it. Alright, All-Seeing Arbiter allows us to put a real threat to the board. This match may actually come to an end. Alright, discard Lair the Hydra. Now that's actually going to shrink that card by a fair amount. So we don't have to worry about that attacking in for any damage. Alright, they're passing. We will discard. Bring back Shigeki. This is the other great thing about All-Seeing Arbiter. It works great with all of these channel cards. So all the cards that we discard for effects will give us just the ability to shrink their cards. Alright, let's go ahead and attack first. Alright, they're going to Iganjo, but we can always just bring this back with Shigeki, so I'm not worried about that. I guess I am a little worried about decking ourselves at this point. We'll pass. Because, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is that right? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do X6 on Shigeki. Basically get ourselves a whole new hand. At this point, I'm fine with going Shigeki, discard, and then we start trying to play the Sky Turtles to the board. What you doing, opponent? Looks like the opponent's actually going to try to finish this off here. Alright, we'll tap this, First off, Endless Detour. Gonna see the opponent go for a counterspell. I actually didn't need to flip this blue yet. Really? Alright. Let that resolve. We will just bounce the token out of here. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Shigeki X3. Because of our health total, I'm going to get a Revelry. Going to grab a Sky Turtle. Going to grab the Detour. Oh, I had the ability to go one more X. I miscounted. Alright. Get some Revelry. Bant doesn't have any haste ground target, so we'll punch in some damage there. Go for the Greater Tanuki. Pass it back. Oh, a fun thing to make note of. Endless Detour allows us to prevent ourselves from decking out. Because we can keep putting a card from our graveyard back on top of our deck. And we just cycle the Endless Detours thanks to Shigeki. Okay, so opponent put Magma Opus on the bottom with the March. Okay, it'll be our turn. Let's see. Only going to attack for 6. The reason is, if the opponent pressures us on our life total again, it allows us to get Revelry to recover. I might be being overly cautious against this opponent, but I think it's going to pay out in the end. Alright. So, let's see. Grab Sky Turtle. Grab... I guess a March. Another Sky Turtle. Revelry. Sky Turtle. And 6th card will be a Lair of the Hydra. Alright. Play the Revelry before we go to combat. Just trying to gain the life here. Activate. Gonna attempt to go for the lethal right now. I assume our opponent has some kind of answer, but I'm only going to activate 1 Storm Giants here. Because I want backup answers in the event the opponent tries to set up something that they can do to counterattack us with. I'm just going to give the opponent cheers, because I'm not sure if they're just going to just roll over and die here. And that's it. Yep. Good game, opponent. All right. That was a long game. But they definitely weren't the types to just simply rage quit out of it. I appreciate them for their endurance there. Alright, we're going to do one last game. Because I think that fight in itself was like over 40 minutes. Alright, we'll try keeping this. It seems interesting. Alright. I don't think it matters which one we lead with. I'll go with the white-green first. Oh, no. Would have made sense to go white-blue. Because if we draw into Drawr's Disruption, we may have wanted to have held that up. Alright, opponent's going to hit us for some damage. Revelry will at least help us recover. When they attack in, we offer blocks just to preserve life total here. I'm sorry, I'm going to attempt to take that double block. Alright, I'm not sure why they let us get that, but we'll take it. Revelry back for more round 2. I honestly should have gotten rid of the Generous Visitor, probably, over Weaver. We'll offer a block. Play this. Pass the turn. We unfortunately don't have anything to maybe force the opponent to play more of their cards. Rabble-rousing. Alright. It's a spicy take on enchantments. So we just needed ourselves one more land. Oh, there it is. So we go for the Revelry. This will sustain us. We fare well. We get rid of all of their enchantments, all their creatures, and possibly just watch them rage right on out of here. We won't exile the graveyards, because I don't see any need to exile their graveyard. And maintaining these Revelries will be good. Alright. Alright. Well, this is a little BM, but... That's actually a lot BM. I won't lie. Alright. All-Seeing Arbiter. I don't think we need any more Revelry, so we'll discard that. Play the land, and it'll be their turn. Alright, borrow time for our opponent. Play this as land, pass it back. Do I care? Because I could flash this in and counterspell that. But I think that's fine. Okay.
Finally, I'm home. Let your blade do the talking.
We'll let the opponent get to 2 life by going for a block instead of doing the exile. So that way we can just create another token.
Guards, to me.
All-Seeing. Discard the land. And pass. Now we can't use the discard of Aganjo this turn. Counter here. Attack in.
I've got new moves to teach you.
If they have enough lands, we'll discard and make disappear. Let's go for the Greater Tanuki just as a big trample body, and it'll be their turn. Circle of Confinement gets rid of our token, that's okay. At this point, we're not representing lethal yet, but it's still enough to make them scoot. There we go. Alright. We just need one more win to finish that. Okay. Just to show off what we were playing, for those who may have joined us late. So, this is a deck that I called Infinite Board Wipe. And as we got to see, we basically did just that. We looped that Farewell so many times with Shigeki and Sky Turtle combo that it caused some people just straight up immediately rage quit. And the number of times that we also just won because the creatures beat, well, that was only one time. But the deck is very powerful. I'm not sure what you do to answer this after rotation, other than just have lots of cards to just hate on the graveyard. Because in this deck, the only card that's going to rotate is Jawari's Disruption, and I think that's okay. Like, we don't really need to worry about that. If you want to double check, we do have 24 basic lands in, I'm sorry, 24 lands in general in the deck, and I'm treating Jawari Disruption like an extra 2 lands. And when this rotates out, I think that's all this is going to do. So, I think this is a very solid deck. And if you're looking for something to crush in the ladder, watch people rage quit, this will do it. Now, this is a deck that you have to be patient with yourself playing, because it is not a you win the games quick, but it is a it will win games. Did we even suffer a loss with this deck? Let me double check that. Okay, we played this deck a total of 8 times, and we lost once. And that's really good odds. That's an 88% win rate. On the draw, we won 100% of the time. On the play, we won 80% of the time. So, and we ended up doing really well with this. I mean, we played against a variety of decks with this. So it's not like we only just capitalized against one deck. We actually played against a little bit of everything. We beat Boros, Boros aggro. We beat Red Blue, or Jeskai control. We beat Black Red treasures. Or sacrifice. Like, we played against a lot, and we definitely did some damage with this. All right. Well, since it is late, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. We're going to go send you all off on a raid. If there's any suggestions, I'm open to hear them. Otherwise, I'm just going to go check and see who's online to raid. Oh, there's someone who I haven't hit up before that I always thought was kind of a great player. If you want to see somebody who's really good at the game, I definitely suggest checking out Power Dragon here. And I'll go ahead and send us off on a raid there. Now, he does come up with some good deck designs. He does a great job explaining his thought processes on what he's doing. So I definitely think he's a great person to check out. And we'll go ahead and hit them up with a raid. Let's see. Let me double check, make sure I have everything set properly. Oh, I think I accidentally canceled the raid. Misclick. Alright, so starting raid. Alright. Well, I wish you all have a nice night. I hope that you enjoy yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time. We'll be back on Sunday, and we'll be probably trying to do some more Magic. There was a bit last time that I tried to play a little bit of Multiverses, and if anyone's interested in playing that, always open to it. But I think we'll just go back to our usual Magic. we'll also probably go over some of the new spoiled cards and see what we can maybe deck theory, what we can do with them for the standard format once before they even come out. All right, well, take care, everyone. I hopefully will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Tap.gg. Hey, CNG stream, just in time for me to load those 3 people into another party, and we're gonna go bless somebody else with a big group of people. Looks like Mercurial Blue is on though. Let's go since actually JRR2 is streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. That's cool. I hadn't seen him in a good minute, so I might swing by just to say hi on his channel. But for now, we're gonna go raid Mercurio Blue, who's a really fun dude. I've gotten to know him a bit through our Degenerate Gaming group, and super friendly. So I'm gonna have good time sitting y'all over there. I know y'all are gonna be in good hands. I will probably be streaming tomorrow for some amount of time in the afternoon, probably going over new card previews or whatever. We'll probably cover that sometime in the morning-ish hour, West Coast time. So I say morning-ish hour, probably be afternoon, sometime between 12 and noon. We'll probably try to hit that. And yeah, I think that's it. Lots of new stuff going on. Don't forget to check out today's video on the YouTube channel. I have a free month of Skillshare if you want to learn something over there, which is amazing because they have literally thousands of courses that are super small bite-sized pieces for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. If you want to learn about damn near anything, like dead serious, it is amazing what you can learn on their website. I've used it honestly for a couple of things already to learn things, so totally legit. And even if you go beyond like the free month, it's actually super affordable, way more affordable than I thought it was going to be honest with you. So there you go, there's the link if you want it. Otherwise, wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you for hanging out this evening. As always, I really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves and your family from like COVID, monkeypox, whatever hell else is out there. And remember to be awesome and be awesome to each other. And be super friendly to Mercurial Blue. Fill his channel up with green dragon emotes. And I will try to catch y'all tomorrow.
I can just like keep holding up the mana, like do this thing. I didn't do Armor Shadows there because I thought they had Patriarch's Humiliation. I don't know, maybe that was kind of crazy. I can like Beholder this, and then what? Get in with these two?